Sometimes, the people we overlook end up teaching us the most unforgettable lessons. On a rooftop helipad, under the golden glow of sunset, a CEO in a sharp black suit crossed her arms and smirked at a janitor holding a mop. Behind them stood a sleek helicopter, its blades glinting in the light. She said with a hint of mockery, "Fly this helicopter, and I'll marry you." What she didn't know was that this janitor wasn't just any man. He had a past that could humble even the proudest heart, and what happened next would change both of their lives forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to Kindness in Action, where we share real and inspiring stories that remind us of the power of compassion and humility. If you enjoy stories that touch your heart and remind you what truly matters in life, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment below about what kindness means to you. We love hearing your thoughts. Now, let's get into today's story, one that proves that kindness and humility can open doors that pride will only close. Lucas Nelson worked as a janitor at a large corporate headquarters in Dallas, Texas. Every morning, he arrived before dawn, pushing his mop and cleaning carts through the gleaming marble halls. He didn't talk much, didn't complain, and never missed a day of work. Most people walked past him without a second glance. But what no one knew was that Lucas had once flown Black Hawk helicopters for the U.S. Army. He'd served overseas, leading rescue missions that saved countless lives. After his service, life hit him hard. He lost his best friend in combat, then his marriage fell apart, and when he came home, finding a steady job felt impossible. The janitor job wasn't his dream, but it was honest work. He found peace in the small things, polishing the floors until they shined, fixing broken things others ignored, and greeting people with a quiet, "Good morning." Then came Rebecca Steele, the new CEO. Rebecca was known for her sharp intelligence and no-nonsense attitude. At 35, she had built her reputation from the ground up. She didn't have time for small talk, and certainly not for janitors. Her office was on the top floor, where everything was spotless and everyone spoke in hushed tones. One day, the company held a major event, a partnership deal worth millions. Rebecca wanted everything perfect, right down to the rooftop helipad where the visiting investors were scheduled to arrive by helicopter. That afternoon, Lucas was up there mopping the deck, watching the sunset spread over the city skyline. The sky glowed orange and pink, and for a moment, he felt calm, until the rooftop door swung open. "Hey, you!" Rebecca's voice sliced through the wind. "You're not supposed to be standing around. Do you know how important this meeting is?" Lucas nodded politely. "Just finishing up, ma'am. I'll be out of the way in a minute." But she didn't stop. "You janitors always have an excuse," she said, rolling her eyes. "Do you even know what that helicopter behind you costs?" Lucas smiled softly. "A little more than my mop, I'm guessing." That made her laugh, a cold, sarcastic laugh. "Tell you what," she said, crossing her arms. "If you can fly that helicopter, I'll marry you." She expected him to stammer or walk away embarrassed. But Lucas didn't. He looked at her calmly and said, "You sure about that?" Her smirk faded. "What, are you serious?" Lucas wiped his hands, walked toward the helicopter, and inspected it like an old friend. Without hesitation, he climbed into the cockpit. The ground crew stared, whispering nervously. Rebecca's laughter died as the rotor blades began to turn. Within moments, the helicopter lifted gracefully off the pad, hovered in the air, and circled the building with expert precision. When Lucas landed, the rooftop was silent. Rebecca's eyes were wide with disbelief. Who are you?" she finally asked. Lucas stepped out, calm as ever. "Just the janitor," he said with a small smile. Word spread quickly through the company. By the next morning, everyone knew that the janitor was a former U.S. Army helicopter pilot. Rebecca called Lucas into her office. For the first time, she wasn't wearing that confident smile. She looked almost embarrassed. "I owe you an apology," she began. "I shouldn't have spoken to you that way." Lucas shrugged gently. "It's all right, ma'am. Happens all the time." But she shook her head. "No, it's not all right. I misjudged you. I saw your uniform and assumed I knew your story." That conversation marked the start of something new. Over the next few weeks, Rebecca found reasons to stop by wherever Lucas worked, sometimes to ask about his time in the army, sometimes just to chat. She learned he volunteered at a local veterans shelter on weekends, teaching young vets how to find work and rebuild their confidence. "He spends his Saturdays helping others when he could be resting," one coworker told her. "And he never talks about it." Rebecca began to see what made Lucas different. He didn't need to prove his worth, he lived it quietly, every day. A few months later, the company organized a charity event to raise funds for veterans struggling to find jobs. Rebecca asked Lucas to help coordinate. At first, he hesitated. "I'm just a janitor," he said. But she replied, "You're more than that, Lucas. You're the reason this event matters." On the night of the fundraiser, hundreds of people filled the ballroom. Veterans, employees, and community leaders gathered to support the cause. Rebecca took the stage to give her speech, but halfway through,